Hey, welcome to Mother Meets the podcast. I'm your host, Makita. Today, we're going to discuss the challenges of a stay at home mom versus a working mom. Now, as mothers, we all have our challenges, but I want to discuss this more of what challenges we have as being either a stay at home mom versus a working mom. So, I do have a friend here. She's going to discuss it with me, and she's a working mom. And we're just going to have fun and chit chat. So, hope you guys enjoy. Hey.
Hello.
All right, so we're going to start off by saying that being a mother is hard work no matter if you're a working mom, a stay at home mom, you work from home. It's a challenge regardless. But I wanted to more speak on the challenges that a stay at home mom has and a working mom, because even though we're moms and we go through the same challenges and problems, we do have some difference when it comes to being at home and working outside the home. So I have my good friend Jaleesa. She's a mother of three, married, and she works outside the home. So what are some challenges you would say that you have, being a working mom?
One of the main challenges I could definitely say is the fact that when it comes to school, it just about driving me crazy. Like, I don't know how many times I've had to tell administrators at school that, listen, every little thing, I can't stop what I'm doing and come to the school. I can't. Can we do this through now it trips me out because everything is through Zoom because of the virus situation. And
Right,
at that time I used to be like, listen, can you just video chat me? We can handle this. Like, oh, we need to have a parent teacher conference. Oh, can you come out for like whatever parent participation? I'm like, listen, I can't. I sincerely can't. I have a set amount of PTO time for work, and yeah, okay, I could set some aside, like for graduation, first day of school, and obviously an emergency. But just because you guys want to see a parent's face, I can't do it. That is
right,
the
right.
biggest pain for me when it came to school. I can't lie. I'm all for the distance learning to just a certain degree, only because I'm working out of the home. But at the
Right.
same time, I'm like, I am not made to be a teacher. I'm not. Please
Yeah.
send them back to school.
Right, and that I can agree. I can see your point. That would be a challenge because you would have to either leave work early, go in late to go up to the school to meet whatever the principal, teacher, and for I know when I do my parent conference meetings with the teacher, it's usually a day I set that my the teacher will send home a letter and say, "Hey, is this a good date?" And I usually change it because sometimes I can't work around that schedule, but for the most part, most that I mean, some teachers from the years before have said, "Hey, we can just talk on the phone. You don't have to come in, and I'll send the papers home for you to sign, and you bring, and, send them back with your child." So, depending on what the case is, I understand why they have to see you face to face. But if it's just to tell you, "Hey, your child is not doing X, Y, and Z," listen, you can email me, send me a text, you could call, but I don't see the need for me to come in unless I'm having like a meeting with the principal and the teacher. Then I can understand why I need to be there. But so I feel like some teachers don't I don't understand that part because then they have more, they have more of the time to be like, well, I can meet this time, and you're like, no, I can't. I You would have to go in late or leave early, and then that cuts your time, that cuts your work time. So that I totally understand. That's I have, because my sister, she has the same thing where if something happens, she got to leave work early or go in late or rearrange her whole schedule just to fit that in. So that I totally understand that part.
Definitely. Like, I've been telling teachers, listen, like they like at my oldest son's school, they like to do it early in the morning, but this is a catch. School starts at like 9:10, and they
Right,
want to do the conference at like maybe 8:30, 8:45 in the morning. I have to be to work at 8:30. So that means I have to call my supervisor, hey, I'm going to be in late today. And then my supervisor's like, well, how late do you think? And I'm like, bro. So it's like,
right,
I'm torn between, hey, I need to do my job so I can get paid. But at the same time, hey, I'm a mom before anything. But at the same time, it's like, bro, like this really. And then when you go to the parent teacher conference, I hate to say it, but most of the time it could have been a phone call. It legitimately could have been a group phone call.
I agree. And I understand schools and teachers want the parents to be, more involved and show their face and stuff like that. And that's where I come in. I am like the one like, hey, I'm free. I can volunteer just let me know a week in advance. And, I could, I could be there. And I feel like for stay-at-home moms, we're more flexible when it comes to schedules and timings.
Mm-hmm.
So we can more or less, okay, I can schedule things like on my husband's days off where I'm like, okay, I know he's off on this day. I can tell the teacher, hey, I can come in on this day because I'll have someone to watch my children, which is my husband, So I don't have to necessarily hire a babysitter or ask a family member like, hey, can you watch so and so while I go to this meeting? I usually I can, rearrange that part, but that's not see that, and I think that's not one challenge that a stay-at-home mom has because we're more flexible when it comes to timing. I think for us stay-at-home moms, I would say for me, I can't speak for everyone. I think for me, it's keeping a routine. I think that because we're home, we kind of laid back on the whole. Oh, I'll get to that later, or I'll do this later, and by the time you know it, the day has gone, and you did not do what you said you were gonna do. That's me. I'm very laid back. Like even with the kids' routine and stuff schedule, I try to keep them on like, hey, okay, we come from school, homework, dinner, and they should be in bed by 8:30, and that's just not the case. Sometimes it's after 10, and they're just going to bed. So for me, I can say because I've been home so long that I'm like, oh, I got time, and then by the time I know it, my whole day has gone by, and I did not set anything that's set up for that day did not get completed. That's probably one of my downfalls, as I could say that my challenge. I can't speak
I
for
can
every stay-at-home
honest,
mom, but that's mine.
I can honestly say, even though I'm a working mom, listen, when the weekend comes, there is no schedule. Like I can't lie, because of this whole COVID-19, there is no
Right.
schedule. Listen, we all got up at 12 noon today. Like everybody in the
You
house
know,
did not wake up until 12 noon.
I feel like my whole routine, my whole scheduling, completely went out the window when school got canceled.
The only people that are on the schedule is me and my husband, and that's because we both work outside of the house. My husband works overnight, and I work during the
Right.
day. So that's the only time you'll see a little bit of a schedule is when our work schedules coincide. Like today, we were both off, which was so sweet. But
Right.
then tomorrow, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna go to work. I get off. I come home. So let's say if I get home the latest is 6 o'clock, because sometimes I'll stop by the grocery store or whatever. I get home by 6 o'clock. I have literally a 4 hour window, and out of those 4 hours, two of them I need to be sleeping. So I get home at
Right.
6. Kids get dinner, bath, bed, and hopefully in the bed by the latest of 8:30. Everybody goes
Right.
down for a nap, but then guess what? At 10:15, we all have to get up to take my husband to
Right.
work, who has to be at work by 11 o'clock, and then we get back home by 11:30, sometimes 11:45, and then we all go back to sleep. I get back up at 7, do it all over again.
Yeah, this is where I'm like, I don't know how you guys do it because I've been a stay-at-home mom for 13 years. I have not worked since I had my first child. So I have no idea what it's like to work outside the home and still have to come home and deal with cooking, cleaning, laundry, and homework, and still get the kids back, get them to bed on time. I I think about it and I'm just like, there's no, even when I have like doctor's appointments with the kids after school and we don't get home till after 6 and I'm like rushing to get dinner or I'm rushing to get homework done, I'm just like, no way could I function working outside the home.
I can definitely say my husband is my teammate when it comes to that, because even though he's home during the day, remember he's just worked overnight. He gets off at 7 o'clock in the morning, so he's like
Right.
dead tired. And to deal with an infant, a toddler, and a preteen, it's like, okay, that's a lot. So
Yeah.
what saves us time is, one, leftovers, or two, the crock pot. That the crock pot and the rice cooker are abused in my home. Like those are, listen. God forbid one of those appliances break, you will hear me screaming in here, because we
Right.
need that. Literally, I'll throw some meat in the crock pot, throw some rice in the rice cooker when I get home, because in the rice cooker it takes like 20 minutes for it to cook,
Right.
and then
Right.
open a can of vegetables, throw it on the stove. Okay, while that's doing that, one by one, go get the bath. Like, we tend to bathe a little too together to save some time. I mean,
Right.
I'll hop in the shower. We'll throw one of the little ones in the shower with me, like something just to get it done as quick as possible. Homework should be done before they get home. Granted, I have a 5-year-old. He'll be going to kindergarten, so he hasn't really had homework. But my preteen's homework, it should be done before we get home, because that's
Right.
where, honestly, as a working mom, that village to raise a child saying comes in handy big time. So when he gets out of school, my husband takes like a cat nap because he's already done picked up
Right.
the toddler from school. So, he walks home to grandma's house. He should have done his homework. And then boom,
Right.
I get off, I pick everybody up, and we make the beeline home. And then that's why I said, throw some rice in the rice cooker, bath time. And then by the time one's getting out, one's eating dinner. So usually what I do is have one eating dinner and one taking a shower, and then switch them out. And then by
Okay.
8:30, bed, everybody, with the exception of the infant. He's
Right.
not going down until mommy lays down because he's breastfed. So
That's what I figure, like, for a working mom, you guys have to be on like a really, I would say, tight schedule, because if one thing's out,
one thing's
it
out, it
messes
throws
up
off
the
the
whole.
whole night. The whole night is
Right.
thrown completely off. Like, God forbid, say one of them gets sick. Like, a while back, both of the little kids had an ear infection, like one after the other. And when kids get
Yeah.
sick, it's the end of the world for them. They're like, okay, I want to be held. I'm tired. Hold me, cuddle me, the whole 9 yards. I'm like, listen, I gotta keep moving. It's like, literally, sometimes I get so upset with myself because, like, I don't have the time, like, to keep all of you on your
But
schedule,
you
but
know,
still bond with you.
but you know what too? I figure sometimes that, like, that's that downtime that you we need.
I can agree.
Like, that's the time, like, okay, I'm just gonna lay in this bed with the baby and just do nothing,
I
and
am.
it will have to wait. Whatever it is, how you'll have to wait until either the baby is sleeping and I can put them down, or it just won't get done that day. Because I've had plenty of days, especially when my youngest has been sick. She had a flu and ear infection, and I had the flu as well. So nothing got done that day. Like, I could barely even get out of bed to fix my other kids' dinner and lunch. It was like, whoa, like, so that's like the downtime. I think it's like, okay, slow down, take a break. It's okay if you don't get that done today. And I feel like that's where another part comes in with that whole, like, mom guilt.
I
Like, if we don't
agree
get some,
100%.
like, if we don't, right, and if we don't get something done right
We're like,
away, it's like, like, we're gonna beat ourselves, like, that should have got done, like, that really should have gotten done today, and I feel like sometimes we have to, like, kind of let that go and be like, we're not perfect, we're humans, and it's okay if we didn't get everything done on our list today.
I agree. I actually just had that moment Saturday. Like, for me, since I work Monday through Friday, and then my husband works Tuesday through Saturday, so Saturday is usually the day that I say, okay, I'm gonna run errands, I'm gonna clean up, da da da. And this Saturday, I was just like, you know what? Nope, I'm
Right.
not doing it. I don't feel like it. I literally sat around like an absolute potato on Saturday. I'm just gonna get up,
and
shower, and that's it.
and that's perfectly fine. That is like, I have to say, for you to be a working mom, I don't know when you get time to actually just sit and do nothing, because on the weekends, that's when you're, like, running your errands, or you got to do laundry. For me, I could put a load at any time. It don't,
That
it
is
doesn't even.
definitely part of the challenge.
Right.
Like today, perfect example, I finally got an appointment for the boys to go for their yearly checkups on a Saturday. When I pick a doctor,
Right.
given that my schedule is Monday through Friday, I'm always like, nope, I need a Saturday appointment. It's a must, because I don't want to have to deal with going to work saying, okay, I need to leave early or come late because I have to take all three of my kids to the doctor. So I try to keep work out of my private life. Like, unless God forbid there's
Right.
an emergency, you will not know anything going on with me, outside of work.
Right. Right.
So I was like, finally, I got a Saturday appointment. But then the fact that they have a doctor's appointment that Saturday, I can guarantee I'm still going to need to go to the grocery store and doing that type of stuff right now with the whole pandemic. I can't take them with me. So after the doctor, got to take you guys home, then go back
Right.
out to the grocery store. It's like, it's a challenge. But at the
Right.
same time, I have to give stay-at-home moms their props, because listen, when I worked from home for 2 weeks straight, when this whole thing like really took off, I was losing
Right.
all of my common sense. I was like, okay, how in the world does Makita do this? Like, how? Like, one kid wants this to eat, the other one wants that one. This one is just crying for just because, hey, you can't find an arm to the action figure. And I'm like, dude,
Right. Mm-hmm. Oh,
like,
all right, I'm gonna give you a perfect. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Today, my 5-year-old now, he is just starting to get into video games. Now, granted, we only have one PlayStation in the house. I refuse to buy another one. I don't see the point in buying another one. So if they have one, they all have to share it. It's 4 of them. So today, he's like really into the Minecraft. So he wanted to go on, and I think my 8-year-old was playing, and I was like, look, at 5 o'clock you guys switch and let him go on. Of course, 5 o'clock came, and I think my 5-year-old ended up falling asleep, so he missed out on that time frame. So when he got up, as soon as he got up, he was like, he won't let me on. I'm like, you just woke up. I'm like, you just woke up. You didn't even come to me first to say, hey, I missed my time, can you get him off now? He went straight to, I can't get on, I can't play, he won't let me. I'm like, oh Lord, here we go. So eventually I got up, went into the room, like, all right, switch, time to switch, because he was sleeping, he missed his time, it's time for him to get on and play. But that is one of the times where I just want to pull my hair out and be like, I'm gonna go outside, you guys stay here for a minute, I just need a breather. Because they and then now that they're home,
24/7.
they fight. Listen, they fight for the littlest things. Like, someone ate my rice off my plate, and I'm like, it's just rice. We have more. You know.
I
So
thought
that
honestly
is.
I was being like, you know how sometimes people have kids like back to back, and I'm not knocking it in any way, but I thought, okay, my oldest and my middle child have a 7-year gap. I swore I thought that they would not fight, and working from
Oh no,
home
they're gonna
for
fight.
2 weeks showed me they are like cat and dog, and I was like,
I don't think it.
cut it out.
I don't think it matters how spaced out your kids are. If you have them close in age or you have a gap between each child, they're gonna fight about something. Because my youngest is a girl, and she fights her brothers for stuff.
She is just trying to hang with them. Like, hey, you can't walk over me because I'm the girl
She
and I'm the youngest.
Listen, if she has something in like her tablet, it's hers. But if she leaves it on the couch or on the table, and one of them comes up and like not even touching it, they're just looking at it, she runs over it. It's mine. I'd be like, girl, no one's touching. We're just looking. And she would, snatch it up and walk off with it. But that's just how I guess each child has their own. I mean, all of them went through that phase where it's mine.
Mm-hmm.
She's going through that phase now. She'll be 3 in August, and she's going
My
through that
five year
phase
old
like
is still
everything's
doing the
hers. It's
mine.
mine.
I'm waiting for that phase to just pass. He's still,
Yeah,
everything is
she's going
mine,
to even
mine,
the
mine.
yep. Even the other day, I was changing her diaper, and I put the diaper down, get some wipes, and she goes, "My diaper," and I'm like, "Boo, I got to put the diaper on you. It's yours. I'm gonna use it on you, but I need that diaper to put on you." She's like, "It's my diaper." I'm like, "Girl, just get me it." So it's doesn't, like I said, doesn't matter how if close in age or spaced out your kids are, they're gonna fight regardless. And I think being home,
it's
not
amplifying
having
it.
that at right, and then they're used to going to school, so they can interact with their peers, and now they can't really do that. So all that, and then where we live, they lock down the pool
Yep.
park, so we can't
Same
go to any
here.
of those things. So it's like, what else is there to do but argue and play PlayStation? That's just it. And then me now, I'm just like, you know what? Do whatever you like. Whatever keeps my peace, I'm like, do whatever you guys want. And then, like I said, that's one of my challenges. I'm very laid back because I'm home. They can stay up. They can stay up late because we're home. It's just like whatever. I don't like that whole. My schedule kind of went out the window, honestly. Once they got home,
The only
I'm
schedule
just
I try
like,
to stick to is just getting to bed. Because honestly, between my husband's opposite schedule and then with me working during the day and all three of them, I'm like, okay, just
right,
get into bed. Because like a lot of people always ask me, when do you have me time, like time for me? And I'm like, when I take a shower, maybe. If one of the kids
right,
don't just decide, hey, because like my 5-year old will come right in the bathroom, mommy, I want to take a shower with you. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't care. I can give you a
right,
bath
yeah,
right now, and that's the end of it. And then I have an eight
yeah,
month old. I mean, Sometimes I throw them in the shower with me for skin to skin, get it all in one shot, just
And
done.
you see, my me time is not in the shower because everyone comes in there asking me for food. Can I have this? Can I eat this now? I'm just like, I was just in the kitchen. I just want to shower. As soon as I say I'm going in the shower, everyone has something to ask me, including my husband.
When I say I'm gonna go take a shower, 9 times out of 10 I can just get those 10 minutes to myself. But anytime outside of the bathroom, not even the toilet, just in the shower, anytime outside of there, they're like,
Right.
"Oh, I got a question for this. I need this. I need that." Like literally today, my oldest comes up, "Mom, I'm hungry. Okay, what do you want to eat? I want noodles." Okay, cool. I sit down after I give him his noodles. Not even 5 minutes later, here goes my second child. "Mommy, I'm hungry. What do you want to eat?" "I want a sandwich."
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you
My
you could have
children are the
not just asked
same.
me that when I was right there in the kitchen. Now I have to get back up,
No.
go make the sandwich, come back after him, clean off the table. It's just like, oh my goodness. But when it comes to like
Yeah.
working and being a mom, it's kind of challenging because a lot of times I feel like corporate America does not care that you're a mom. They're like, listen, we don't care if you're bleeding out your ears and your nose, get to work. And the crazy part
Right.
is I'll never forget this. Before my current job that I work at, I remember one of my supervisors specifically just having a conversation, but she was just talking in general. She said at one point in time she did not hire moms. She has no kids of her own. She said
Oh
she did not
wow.
hire moms, and I'm like, well, why would you say that? And she literally said because she believes that when baby gets sick, moms get sick. And I was like, that is so bogus. I was like, "Are you?" She literally
Wow.
said she did not hire moms because of everything. And from that moment on, I made sure to never, like, always try to balance home and work. Like, I make sure, hey, you know
Right.
what? Don't use my kids as an excuse. I mean, granted, kids will get sick. I am one of those people that are blessed. My husband is like really hands on with the kids, and I do have a village outside of my husband. You're a part of said village, but you know,
Right.
not everybody has it, but I am blessed to say, hey, you know, if the kids are sick or, you know, I just can't take off work to, you know, tend to the kids. I do have people around me, but not everybody has that. And that's what sucks because
Right.
from the outside looking in, even though I'm in it, I can see that other people's jobs, corporate America doesn't care. They're like, that's not our problem that your kid is sick. We still need you to get to work or lose your job. We can
Right.
hire somebody who doesn't have a kid. So
Yeah, that's like when I was work before I even got pregnant with my first or anything like that. I was working, and there was a young lady there. She was a little younger than me. She had a child, maybe like a year old, and I guess the daycare called and was like, "Hey, she fell down. She probably needs to go to the doctor." So she tells the not even our supervisor, it was the general manager that was there, happened to be at the store that day, and she's like, "Look, I have to leave. The babysitter called. I have to take my daughter to the doctor because she injured herself." And the manager was like, "No, you can't go."
what? How can you tell her no? You can't go.
Yeah,
So
he
okay, see, that's what I'm talking about.
he said, right. He said, "If you go, you're
Oh, that's
fired."
disgusting.
So she stood there for a little bit, and I'm looking at her, and I'm like, I was pretty new at the time because she was training me how to do things in that department. And I'm looking at her, and I could feel it. Like, I'm like, oh, like my heart sank because I'm just like, she probably needs this job, but her child needs to get to the doctor right now. And all I saw her was go back to the break room. She grabbed her stuff, she clocked out, and she
I
left.
commend her. And honestly, I feel like that's messed
But you
up
know,
that you make people choose, but at the end of the day, you will never have your child back. God forbid, like wrong, and she would have waited too late to take her. Then next thing you know,
right,
GCF gets involved. Oh, that's neglect. You knew she fell down. You should have came immediately. But then at the same time, oh, you're not working. How are you feeding your child? So it's like
right,
such
right,
a, it's just too much. It's
right. And then, but he ended up, we had, I know there was some kind of meeting we had. There was like a work meeting we had before the shift started. And he was there, and the owner was there, and I had pulled him because he used to make really smart remarks even towards me, like very sexual
oh,
remarks, like stuff that, yeah, like one day he was like, "Hey, Makita, go ahead and you can clock out, and you can do your thing with your boyfriend." I'm just like, what the heck?
yeah, that's disgusting.
And I just, it was so just, yeah, it was like very disturbing, and I'm just like, So when I had the opportunity to talk to the actual owner of the store, I was like, hey, he's just saying some really inappropriate things, like things that should not be said to an employee. Like, and I finally had to like break down and tell him what was going on. And then maybe a couple weeks after that, I was told he was fired. They let him go or whatever. And I was like, oh, good. And after that, things were like really good, normal. There was no problems if we had to leave and, stuff like that. But that was one of the things that I was like, did he just say that? So I can't imagine what a working
It
mom, really
it
has to
can
go
be
through
definitely a
on that
challenge. Like
part.
I've had instance where my oldest was a toddler. Like we're talking like pretty much a baby in my opinion, because he was like a year old. And the daycare called
Right,
me and said, "Hey, mom, I think you really need to go to the doctor. Something's wrong." So I went. I was working at a eye doctor's office at that time, and I remember I went and told the doctor, "Hey, I gotta go. Something's wrong with my son." The daycare called, and instead of just saying, "Hey, okay, go handle your son," I got interrogated. "Oh, what's wrong? How long has it been going on, ma'am? I need to go. Something's wrong with my son. I don't have
that's not
time
even none of
to
your
explain
business
to you what's
though.
going on. I have to go, and I need to go now." And I remember being so ticked off because I'm like,
Right,
"Listen, you shouldn't be asking me questions." Now, granted, I'm not saying that working moms should use their kids as constantly an excuse, like every time you turn around something's wrong. But if that once in a blue moon thing pops up, hey, the kid is sick, your kid is really sick, you gotta go, you gotta go. Like
right,
honestly, I'm happy to say at my current job, if something's wrong with my kids, all I have to do is say, hey, I gotta go. If I can be back, I'll be back. Hey, I'm gonna be out, I'll be late. All my supervisors will say is, hey, okay, take care of your kid. Just keep me posted.
right,
Like one time, my son had an allergic reaction to something. To this day, I still don't know what he ate that caused it. And it wasn't severe, but the school called me, "Hey, mom, he's covered in up to his ears in hives." So I called my supervisor. She didn't
yeah,
answer, but I just left a note with one of my coworkers, tell her, "Hey, just tell her to call me on my cell. I gotta go." She called me. She's like, "Is he okay? What
right,
happened? Do you know what he ate?" I was like, "No, I don't know." She's like, "Okay, are you gonna be able to come back?" I said, "Let me just talk to the doctor, see how he's doing, and then I'll let you know." She was like, "Okay, that's it." It's never been a problem. And I've
right,
called her when my second child had an ear infection. Like it was just one night, he was just screaming that whole night, and I was like, "Okay, this is not normal." I didn't know what was going on because he didn't have the speech that he has now, so he couldn't tell me, "Mommy, my ear hurts." He was like 2 or 3 years
right,
old, three, I believe, and I called her 7 o'clock that morning and said, "Hey, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it in today. It's been a long night. My son has been screaming. Something's wrong." So she's like, "Okay, take care of the baby." And then, when I came in the next day, I said, "Yeah, it was an ear infection," because she figured it was that. But she said, "Just, take him in to be sure."
right,
And she was like, "I hope he feels better soon." No problem. So I'm not saying that, we should use it as a crutch. Hey, my kid is sick every other month. But, things happen, especially when your kid is in daycare. I'm
right,
blessed. Like I said, my husband works the opposite shift, so we don't have to worry about daycare. But I can say when kids are in daycare, they do tend to get sick a lot. But
right,
it's
yeah,
it's a
mhm,
challenge. But I personally, my hats go off to stay-at-home moms because, as bad as it may sound, I just can't deal with it 24/7. Like that fact of 24/7, you're home, you're dealing with them. Mom, mom, mom. Like, just home 2 weeks. Honestly, the 2 days I'm off on a weekend sometimes drive me crazy. Like, to be honest, I was off today. And of course, the kids started up today. And I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go to work. I'm ready to go. I'm,
right,
I'm, I'm a little irritated at this point because they're like just losing their minds. They're screaming, the crying, the whining, the fighting. I'm like, please stop. But then the minute they go to sleep, I'm like, wait, now I'm
right,
bored.
yeah,
Like a lot of people are always asking, do you need a break
yeah.
from your kids? And I'm the biggest person saying, nope. I'm actually bored without them.
I'm with my kids all the time, so I think that's why I can like probably say I probably need a break sometime from them. And when I do take that break, I'm either rushing to get back home, and I'm just like, oh, gotta get back home, gotta. And then when I get here, like everything is good. The house
They're
clean, they
completely
ate, they
fine, right?
showered. I'm just like, I was like, I could have stayed out. I really didn't have to come home yet. But I think that's just the mom in us that we just have to be there. And I'm learning now, like especially my youngest is just 2, but I am learning to step, like especially with my husband, like we have different styles of like how we do things with the children. And sometimes like, you know what, I'm gonna step back, I'm gonna let him do what he want to do. Like I'm letting him parent how he parent, and I'll parent how I parent. Because sometimes like that's not how I do it, and like I remember he's gonna do things different than I would do things, and the kids adapt to who's taking care of
Yep.
them at that moment. So if I'm feeding the kids, they know how I'm gonna share the food out. They know who's gonna get first. And if my husband is doing it, he has his way of doing, his own way of sharing out the food for the kids and all that stuff. But it's a it's always a learning curve in being a mother. It's never ending. You're always learning something new. And I think the more children you have, the more you're learning, and you know, like, okay, I did this with my first, I won't do it with my
I
second.
won't
I
do it
did
my
it with my
third.
second, I'm not gonna do it with my third. And that's how I went down the line. Because what I
I
did with my first, I haven't done it with my
I
last
agree.
child. So definitely learning. Even now, I'm 5 kids in, 13 years as a mother, and I'm still learning. Like, oh, you know what? I shouldn't have done that. I should have done it differently. And then, of course, if I'm wrong in a situation, I will apologize to the child or whatever wrong I did. I'm like, okay, I have to step up that I was wrong, and I have to fix that wrong. So I have to either apologize to my husband because I stepped over and I'm like, I should let you handle that part, or I would like go to whoever whatever whoever the child was. I have to go to them like, hey, sorry, I messed up. I shouldn't. That was a bad call, or something like that. I think that's part of when you're a parent, you have to be able to apologize when you're in your wrong. You should be able to go to the child like, hey, I was wrong. I should have did it this way, or just apologize. That way, the child knows that you are treating them like a person, not just because they're a child. They shouldn't get that respect and
I
courtesy. So I strongly believe that's like one of my strongest beliefs there. Like it doesn't matter how old or young or the child is,
I
they deserve
agree.
that respect just as if
I
you
agree, and
wanted
it
that
teaches them to
respect.
learn from that
You know?
example as well. Like, okay, when we tell them, "Hey, you should say sorry," we should. It'll get to the point where we don't have to tell them
Right.
to say sorry. They'll realize, okay, I was wrong. Let me apologize. Because honestly, my 5-year old, as mean as he could be sometimes, he'll realize, okay, I was wrong. He'll say, sorry, mommy. And I'm like, it's okay, baby. Like, I
Right.
always make sure to let him know it's okay. Give me a hug. Like, let him know, okay, it's okay to apologize, but it's okay to get
Right.
forgiven. Just try not to do it again. That's all.
Right.
But honestly, like I said, my hat
Yeah. So
goes off to stay at home moms. I don't know how you do it. I'm telling you, one day I'm just going to have to come over, look in your closet, because you got to have some type of cape. It's some cape in there because, man,
listen. No, no. I get tired when you tell me about your day. Cam is like, I don't know how you do it. Like when you're waking up for work,
oh,
I'm probably just
Jesus.
going to sleep. No
Listen,
joke. Because my like look, like my whole sleeping schedule has been like off since this whole pandemic. Like I just been like waking up. I'll go to sleep at least an hour, but then I'm waking up like super early, like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. I was like, why am I waking up at this time? And then I'm not really dozing back off until like 7 o'clock. And then you text me, and I'm like, bro, I'm gonna have to text you back because I'm going to sleep.
man,
That's how it is. So I'm pretty sure if I was working, I would be like on a whole completely different scheduling. But the fact that I am home, like I said, that's one of my challenges. I'm very laid back. Unless I have like a time appointment, listen, I get there when I get there half the time. Like I'll get there when I get there. So like I said, I'd get tired by just listening that you have to, especially when there was
oh
school,
gosh, when
you
it was school,
drop
I can
off
run
to
down
school,
my entire
then go
schedule.
to work.
When it was school, it was horrible.
Yeah.
I mean that in the most humble way possible, but it definitely would be like, man, I'm about to just say, nope, I'm done. Like I've had those mornings I wake up and like, man, no, I'm just not here for this today. Nope.
Right. I mean, I have those moments too, especially when they were in school, and I'll sit at the edge of the bed. I'm like, should I just like let them stay out of school today? Like, I don't feel like getting up. And then I think about it, I'm like, no, if they don't go to school today, they're gonna drive me nuts. And not that I'm saying I'm using the school as a daycare because I'm not, but I'm just like that is my time to like because I still have one child here with me all the time. She's only 2, so I'm like, well, it's just me and her. We'll take when I come back from dropping everyone off. Me and her, we'll go take a nap, I'm like, we'll eat breakfast, and we'll watch one of her shows until we both fall asleep, and then we'll wake up like maybe 2 hours before we got to pick the boys up, and then we'll probably have lunch before we pick the boys up, and then that's after the boys get home. That's it. The day just becomes completely crazy.
Oh my
So
goodness, I can only imagine that. Listen, when there's school, a typical day, I run it through with you. When there was school, I would get up at 6:15 in the morning. Now let's start on Tuesday, because on Monday is a little more easier because my husband doesn't have to go to work. Let's include my husband on a regular day. Tuesday
right,
morning, I get up at 6:15 in the morning. I get the boys up, ready. We're out of the house by 7, so I have to get all three of them up. So I make sure my oldest gets up, get changed to your school clothes. Youngest change his clothes, brush his teeth, style his hair if it needs to be styled. The baby is the last person that I
right,
get ready. I change his diaper, make sure his bottles are ready, the whole 9 yards. Obviously, I get ready first before I wake anybody up, just to make my life easier. We're out of the house by 7. I drop off my oldest to school by 7:20, 7:25. Then I drop my second son to school by 7:30 ish. Or sometimes, most of the time, my husband will walk him to school. So I'll drive them to my grandma's house, drop the youngest two off. My husband walks him to school. So that's about 7:45. So then I drive to work. If I have a little bit of extra time, I'll stop at Burger King, get me a quick breakfast, and then I drive to work. I'm at work by 8:30. So I'm at work from 8:30. Then I'll take a lunch break at 1. Keep in mind, while I'm at work, I'm pumping at like 9:15, 12:15, and 3:15. Get off, get off work,
right,
come back to grandma's house, pick up everybody, husband and all three kids, or my mother-in-law's house, depending on which house she's at that day. We come home. I get to my grandma's house about 5:30. Then we get home by like 6:15, depending on traffic. Get home, get whatever's in the crock pot was cooking, take that out, or my husband might throw some spaghetti together really quick, because spaghetti only takes like 20 minutes itself to cook. And everybody eats,
right.
bath, bed, check homework really quick. There's honestly, I hate to say it, there's really no quality time except for, hey, what'd you do today in school? Okay, finish your dinner, time to go to bed. So everybody's in the bed by 8:30, like everybody, including my husband. We all get up around, alarm
Right,
goes off at 10:15. My husband takes 15 minutes to get dressed for work. Gang, rise, I gather everybody up. We're all back into the car, drive all the way back to, like, we live on the east side of the town. No, we live on the west side of town, excuse me. And we drive all the way back east to where the area where I work at, to drop my husband to work, and then come all the way back home
right.
again. Go to sleep. We're home by 11:30, 11:45. Go to sleep, get back up at 6:15, and do it all over again.
And see, that's why I got to get my hat to you, because I would go
I
crazy
have
doing
my
all that every
moments where I'm
day.
like, I'm just gonna grab this pillow and scream in it until I turn purple in the face. But then there's times like, hey, it was works. I mean, because easily my husband could say, okay, well, I can switch to a morning shift, but then we have to worry about daycare fees and then a total stranger watching the kids. And I'm like, no. My husband's like,
Right,
nope, no daycare. Flat out, absolutely not. When we had our first son together, he was like,
right,
nope, he's not going to daycare. Because my second son, which was his first son, is like, he was kind of big for his age. So he was like, nope, not gonna do it, because he came out looking like a 3-month-old baby at a newborn. So he's like, nope, they're just gonna let my baby sit there and cry. We don't do cry it out. Not knocking anybody who does it, but we just don't let infants cry.
right.
If
Yeah,
you're crying,
I don't do
you
it
can bet
either.
your
Yeah,
bottom dollar, mommy and daddy are breaking their ankles to get to you to pick you up. But doing that
right.
on a day-to-day
Yep.
basis, and then I can't lie, sometimes I get so tired I just need my lunch break and I just go to sleep. I go right in the car and go to sleep. I had to get over that, oh, I'm sleeping outside. Listen, I just crack those windows or run the AC if it's really hot, and I'm just knocked out. Just lock the doors and put valuables out of sight. I mean, granted, I don't work in a bad area, but sometimes I just am that tired. I just need
You
a
just never
nap.
know.
I
Yeah.
come back in from my break and you can tell I
Right.
just woke
Yeah.
up. Like, it's written all over my face. Like, yeah, she was asleep. And I'm like, well, listen, sue me. I'm sleeping on my time, okay? I
Right.
need that nap. Like I said, I have a busy, busy schedule.
Yeah. That's you got to pick. Right. You got to pick if you're gonna go eat lunch or I'm just gonna take this nap. And is that wrong with that if you want to take a nap? Because I'm pretty sure other people do it as well, where they're just like burnt down. Like if I don't get this nap
I am
in,
going to
my
be
whole
so
day is just
grouchy.
not gonna go right.
But I can honestly say, but then
Right.
the weekend will come. My husband, like I said, he works Saturdays, but at one point in time, it was so bad. On Saturdays, my husband would get off of work at 7. He would catch a Lyft or Uber home. He'll get home by like 7:30, 7:45, but then he had to be back to work by 3. So he would get up at like, yeah, so he would get up
Oh
about like
wow.
1:30, get something to eat really quick. We out of the house by 2, and because it's daytime, so there's a lot of traffic. So we drive all the way back to work, and
Right.
then he would get off at 11 from 3 to 11 on Saturday. So pretty much when he got off, he was just
Oh,
beat.
that just sounds very
And then
tiring.
I'm beat because in between that time when he's sleeping or he's working, I'm still trying to run errands and deal with the kids. Like, and listen, I remember when I was pregnant with my third son, the older
Right.
two. Listen, I remember seeing shoes flying across my back seat, and I was like, "What the?" Like, I'm like my second child, he is like 0 to 100 like really quick, while the oldest is like, "Mom, please help, save me, please." And I'm seeing shoes and toys flying across the back seat. I'm like, is it quit it? I can't even break this up right now. I'm like 6, 7 months pregnant. I'm like literally
Right.
just like, let me just roll the windows up so the police don't stop me or something. Like legitimately, I'm just like, I'm not even gonna deal with this. I just don't want a shoe to fly out, because if it flies out on the highway, it's just gonna stay out there. I'm not turning around for a shoe. So
Right. Yeah.
more often than not, like I said,
Right.
my hat does go off to stay-at-home moms, because listen, just for the few, in my opinion, hours that I'm actually hands-on with the kids, like when I do play dates, that's the most time I get to play with them. Even then, they're older. They're like, "We don't want to step under you, Mom. We're leaving." So it's like,
Right.
bro, I don't. I sometimes I wish I could have that time, like maybe to try to do some arts and crafts, or just hang out with them, like watch a movie. Like I remember when we moved into our first apartment, like our old apartment before this one, Aladdin was on, and I'd never seen that movie. Sue me, but I'd never seen it. And I remember I said, you know what? Forget unpacking. I sat there on the floor, started watching a movie with the kids, and it felt good to just sit and watch a movie with them, because I don't
Right.
get to do that type of stuff. So that's one of those
Yeah.
moments I get that mom guilt, because I'm like, sheesh, I'm so busy working that I don't get to spend that quality time with them. And I'm like,
Right.
the last thing I want this,
And that was gonna be my next point with you. Like, when do you get
honestly,
that quality
Sunday.
time with the children? Because
Sunday is the
you're
day
always on the
where my
go.
husband's off. He
Sunday.
comes home from work. He catches a Lyft or Uber, or more so now because the whole Corona thing. I just get up on Sunday morning, go pick him up from work, and come right back home with the kids. And everybody gets like that morning nap, because we're
Right.
up early. He gets off at 7. I'll get up at like 6:30, and I'll get to him probably about an hour later, because, like I said, I got to wrangle 3 kids together just to get out of the house. So we'll come
Right.
home, we'll probably eat breakfast, and then take it, the breakfast gives everybody the itis. So we'll take a morning nap. And then when we wake up, that's our day. Like
Right.
Sunday is that day where I kind of like just put my phone aside. There's like, we'll probably play video games together, we'll watch TV together. Honestly, I'm a big kid at heart. I will run around the house and play with the kids. We'll cook dinner. Like Sunday is that family day for us. That is definitely family day. Now, when kids go to bed, that's when
Right.
mommy and daddy get their time together. So that's honestly the only time. But I feel like, sheesh, I would love to have more time with you. But Saturday is literally the only day I can get errands done, because I do not want to drive on Sunday outside of picking up my husband from work. So
Right. Yeah. Right. Right. So I think we can both agree that it's a balancing act, regardless if you work from if you work outside the home or you're a stay-at-home mom. You have to balance time and balance the kids and whatever chores you need to do, errands. So it's all a balancing act at the end of the day. And for me, like, I feel like since I am home with my children, they come to me for everything. Like, they'll skip their dad and come to me, and I'm just like, your dad's in the living room and you passed him to
and
come in
it's the
here in my
opposite for
room.
me. It's literally the
So
opposite. Since
now
my husband's like the home figure during their waking hours, they'll
right.
literally walk right past me like I did not exist. And I watch my 5-year-old do it all the time. He'll go right, "Daddy, I'm hungry," and my husband's looking like, "Don't you see your mom right there?" I'm like,
Right.
So I can definitely say,
Right. See now I do it. Now when they come to me, I be like, go to your daddy. especially the youngest one. I'd be like, go to daddy, ask daddy, and she'll run. Okay, and she'll run to him, and they'll figure out whatever she wants, and it go from there. But I feel like
It's not a
there's no
competition.
difference. No one has it
And that's one
harder
thing I
than
would
the
love
other.
society to realize. It's not a
Right.
competition. Stay-at-home moms are not just sitting on their behinds, just relaxing all day. Whereas working moms are not necessarily neglecting their children. We're just doing the best what works for our families. That's it.
Yep. Exactly. And I couldn't agree more. And like I said, I like I said, I couldn't do it. I could not work, and especially with 5 children for me, I would probably be like so drained, and I would feel like almost somewhat of like it's just the same thing over until the weekend, of course. But it's like all I'm doing is coming home, getting the kids dinner, homework done, shower, and they're in bed. So there is no time for any play or we watch a movie together. Because I like to introduce movies to my children that I watched in my childhood days. So I'm like, hey, let's watch it. Sometimes they're into it, sometimes they're not. They'd be like, what is like? Sometimes they'd be like, Mom, what is this? But I think it's fun to see them watch movies that I watched as a child. So I try to do that as often. Like I said, I can spend all day with them, and we'll pick a movie night. I'll let them pick a movie, or I'll pick a movie. So that's the time. That's the only thing I can say that I have that time with them. Versus you're like on the time like schedule. Like, okay, hey, look, we can talk
Yeah, I
tomorrow,
can't
but we
lie.
got to go to bed
I
now. And I
have
feel like
said
that's just
that
like,
before. Like my 5-year
you
was like,
know,
but, like even times where
right,
like sometimes I feel like okay, unfortunately I don't even know him. I'm like okay, what? Like sometimes I'm like okay,
right,
perfect example. Sometimes my husband would give me the opportunity to like do all the feeding and everything because that's more so his grounds of things to be honest. And I was like, oh, he'll like, oh, my 5-year
right,
will come up to me, mommy, I want chicken nuggets. I'm like, okay, and then I'll go in the room and whisper, babe, how many chicken nuggets does he eat? How many minutes do I put him on? I'm like, how many minutes do I put him on? And he's like, babe, 6, and
and
just put it on like 2 minutes. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks.
yeah, but it's like because one parent does it one way, when the other parent
Precisely.
does it,
So
they
I
be
try
like,
to keep
"That's not how you
everything
do it. That's not how you're supposed to do
uniform.
it. You
Like,
don't do
okay,
it
this is
that
how mommy
way."
does it. We're gonna do it just like this. Just like honestly, my
Yeah,
5-year-old, he has a slight speech
right,
delay. You can understand him to a very, very good extent. But there are some moments where like, what are you saying? So he'll be like, "Mommy,"
right,
and like my face will change because I'm trying so hard to unscramble this puzzle he's given me. And my husband's like, he said he wants Burger King,
right,
babe. I'm like, oh. Okay, and I'm guilty of it because like a lot of times I go on autopilot. That's part of the reason why everything is so routine. I'm literally on autopilot. Like I'm like, okay, do this, do this, do this, this. So the 5-year will come up to me and say, "Mommy," but I'm like, okay, yeah. And my husband like, "Did you understand him?" I'm like, "No."
right.
So he's like,
And that's why the other parent, this is so important, because they'll catch things or know exactly what they want
precisely.
if
Like
you don't know it.
it's like I said, it's definitely a challenge. Like I said, my hats definitely go off to stay-at-home moms. I cannot emphasize that enough. But being a working mom does have its own challenges. But like I said, it works for us. Like I honestly could not
Right.
imagine being home 365 a year.
We, we adapt to our environment. So for working moms, that's something that you were doing even while you were pregnant. You were, and you knew you kind of had that mindset that, okay, once I go on maternity leave, I'm gonna have to go back to work. And I think that for you it's probably a little easier because you were leaving your children with someone that that's going to care for your children, which was your husband. So you already
I
kind of like,
agree.
that's one thing you didn't have to really worry about while
That
you were
did
at
make it
work and
easier.
all that stuff. So, and for me, I would probably be freaking out the whole time, because my husband works. So if I both had to work, I'd be freaking out the whole time, like, oh my God, I just left my kids with somebody that I know, but I really don't know that well. Like, so that's one thing I said, that I like being home. I like being able to be involved in the kids' school stuff, especially when the teacher's like, "Hey, can you attend the field trip with us?" I love that part.
I
Like, I
wish
love
I
being involved with
could.
the
I
school. Like, I
honestly and
love it, love it,
truthfully
love it.
wish I could. Like I said,
So
I do get PTO from work, but I'm big on like, okay, save it for the first day of school, save it for the little graduation ceremonies, or like a really important ceremony
Right.
where I can just come late, leave early, that type of things. And obviously save it for, God forbid, somebody gets sick. Because but I wish so bad, because I remember
Right.
my second child went on his first field trip. Oh goodness, poor teacher. I was like, okay, please make
He was
sure
a
he stays
nervous
with you,
wreck.
because remember, my son has a speech delay, so I'm like, he can pretty much just tell you the bare minimum. Like where my oldest,
Yeah. I had to like
that was
I
just
had to kind of
horrible.
coach you
I
through
was like,
that one.
oh goodness, but he did awesome. I'm so glad. She sent me pictures of him and everything. I was like, listen, I made sure to tell him, listen, if you
Right.
don't understand anything I tell you right now, stay with your teacher. Don't move. Just stay with her. If you gotta go to the bathroom, you carry
Right.
your teacher. Don't go to the bathroom by yourself. None of that. So glad to say his teacher, hats off
Right.
to her. She's
Right.
like definitely a second mom to him when I'm not around. But honestly, a lot of things is just you just kind of gotta pick and choose. I try to keep work separate from home. Like when I even when I worked from home, I was still strict about that. Listen, 5 o'clock, that's it. I'm not staying a minute later. I'm not logging in a minute
Right.
earlier. Listen, you guys have me from, and one thing about my job, they know
Right.
they
Right.
have me from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Anytime after that or before that, I am not available. I am a mom first.
Right. And I think that's important, that a job does respect your time. So that's good that you have that kind of job where you could be like, hey, I'm not don't call me for no overtime because it ain't gonna happen. They already know. So that's one good thing about, your job, that they respect your time and know that
I
mom
love
come
it. That's
first.
one thing
That's
I love.
it. Mom
Like,
duties gotta
we
come
have a
first.
good balance with that. They know, okay, Jaleesa's going to be on time. She's going to be here. She's going to do what she has to do. But at the same time, she knows, hey, 5 o'clock, Jaleesa's leaving. 5:02, Jaleesa is pulling off. Like at 5:01,
Right.
you see the back of my foot out the door. Like, okay, gotta go home because I gotta keep going on my schedule. Gotta go. I can't really stay late. And then at one point,
Right.
my second son had speech therapy, so he had to be to speech therapy by 6 o'clock. So throw that into the mix. We wouldn't get home on Wednesday and Thursday until like 7 o'clock,
Right.
or
It's like,
sometimes 7:30, depending on how long his speech, thing went. If we stopped for food, like, whew, I'm kind of glad speech therapy is done, because,
right. Yeah.
boy, that was a doozy.
Yeah, my son, yeah, two of my kids went to speech therapy, and I could tell you, throwing that in is definitely something else, especially when the child sometimes doesn't want to
Or you're just
go,
tired
tired,
yourself.
and yeah, yeah. I went through that with two of my kids with speech, and that was definitely throwing that in and be like, oh, today's Tuesday, speech. Oh, here we go. So I mean, you do it because your child needs it, but you're at the
Like,
same time you're like,
nope, not one little bit.
I don't feel like going
One thing I
today.
think
Like, I just
both
don't feel like
stay at
going
home
today.
moms and working moms can agree on, we both have the same arch nemesis: laundry. It never stops.
Right.
Listen, it took me
Oh
3 hours to fold
gosh.
one load of
Well,
clothes today.
I can say now through. Well, look. Since the pandemic,
I
I
wish
can
I
say
could
that
say
I've been
that.
washing less. And let me tell you, I got lazy, and I don't. When I wash my clothes, I don't fold them in. I don't fold them anymore. I put them. I bought a separate like clothes hamper just to
Okay,
put the
I
clothes
am
in, so I don't
dying
have
with
to fold
laughter at
them.
this point.
I was like, oh, my husband's like, why'd you buy that hamper? I'm like, because I don't want to fold my clothes. So when they come out the dryer, I can just throw them in there. And if I need something, I can just pick through it and pick what I want and go about my day. And, and he looked at me, was like, okay. I'm like, yep, don't worry.
It's my
It doesn't make
organized
sense to you,
mess.
but it makes
That's what
perfect sense
it
to me.
is.
Like right now, I'm looking. Right. And look, listen, I'm looking at the basket right now, and behind me, I have another basket full of like towels and blankets that's been sitting there for like at least a week now. And I'm just like, yeah, it'll get there it'll get folded when it gets folded. I'm in no rush. But my loads have definitely cut back, especially with the boys, because they wear
Mm-hmm.
uniforms, but still, when they get home, they change their clothes, and they go to bed, they shower, they change their clothes again. So I was washing like with the older boys, I was washing up to 3 loads of just their clothes alone. Now I'm down to 1 load of their clothes. People might think I'm crazy, but I wash almost all our clothes separate. My clothes washed separately, my husband's washed separately, baby girl's clothes washed separately, my 5-year-old's clothes washed separate. And then of course I let all 3 boys, I wash all their clothes together. So I'm washing like, so many different loads of clothes at different times. But that's just how I always did it. So I just kept it that way. But
I wish I could say that.
It's cut down. It's cut down on the laundry. So instead of washing twice a week
That's
now,
one thing
I'm
I'm
washing
glad to
once a
say.
week.
I wash.
So that's one thing I could say that I'm like,
I
whoo,
wash
I'm like
one time a week.
I'm happy about.
Well, I don't even wash. I
But
can't lie.
other
My
than
husband
that,
kind of just was my superhero, and he overtook that chore. Because I detest laundry to a horrendous extent. I just hate doing it.
yeah,
And so what happens is like we
right,
have our basket, and my husband's clothes, my clothes, and my 5-year-old's clothes going on. My oldest has his own separate one, and the baby has his own separate one. And we all of those loads would usually equal about
right,
all of those clothes equal usually about 4, sometimes 5 loads all together, and we wash every week. But I can't lie to you, that's the only way you get clothes folded is because we have to wash. That's it. I will not fold until it's time to wash. Like he want to
right,
go wash.
yeah,
He's like, babe, the clothes need to be folded. I'm like, and it's literally like one load because I picked through this load all week
yeah.
just picking out what I need. So it's literally a smaller load, but it
So
took me like 3 hours to
right,
fold it up. And I was
right,
like, I hate it. Like, and the bad part is if I
yeah.
wasn't off today, I would have had to do it yesterday,
I
and I
hate
just
laundry.
refused. I just took advantage of being off today. I said, I just refuse. And he's looking at me, he's like, babe, why do you hate laundry so much? It's clothes. I'm like, if somebody makes disposable clothes, I'm going to spend all of the money in the bank account to buy disposable clothes. I hate clothes. I hate having to fold them. Listen, if I could just rip my shirt off and throw it in the garbage when I'm done with it at the end of the day, I would. I will forego pajamas. We don't need pajamas. I'm just done. Like, I
Right,
think
right.
that's one thing all moms can agree on: laundry. If I could afford and if I was comfortable enough to have like somebody just do my
Yeah,
laundry for me, I would. But that's the land
yeah, I
of
would too.
rich and famous. I think they throw their clothes away. I'm convinced.
Right. No,
Because
I
I've
just think they
never
buy a
seen
lot of
like
it,
a
so they don't have to
celebrity
worry
wear
about it.
something twice when you think about it. Like I'm thinking of celebrity moms, and I've never seen them wearing something twice.
Yeah.
I think they either give it away or something.
No, they just buy enough of it. They don't have to do that.
I know, right? We should
Something.
DM them.
I need to know their secrets.
We should DM them. Like, what do you do with your laundry?
I would
Seriously, do
love
you
to
wear
know their.
anything
Yeah.
twice?
Like what?
Immediately.
Tell me. I need to
I'm
know
telling
now
you.
because I'll definitely do the same. But yeah, I think that's about it. I think we come to an agreement that we both have our challenges and that it's both it's hard
Motherhood, there's
regardless
nothing
if you
easy
work or
about
not.
motherhood, but
So
it's definitely rewarding.
very
I can definitely say that there's
yes,
nothing
it
easy
is
whether you work at work, whether you work from home, work
definitely
outside the home, you stay at home. There's nothing easy about it. Because personally, when you're a stay-at-home mom, you're dealing with the kids all day. A lot of people
nothing.
understands. Hey, like say if you're on the phone, the kid throws a tantrum. Some moms, some other people, like even if you're not a parent, they're like, oh my god, I can't deal with that. Me personally, if a kid is throwing a tantrum in the background, my face will not even change. You're like, oh, it honestly,
Yeah,
I'm
I'd be
so
like, let
used
me
to
call you
it. I'm
back.
like, oh, okay, kid throwing a tantrum, they'll be okay. The only thing, if I hear a kid crying, I say, are they okay? Oh yeah, they're throwing a tantrum. Okay, there's teachers
Right.
gone. I'm just so used to it. But a lot of people don't understand when you're a stay-at-home mom, your life literally revolves around the kids. So it's even hard to like deal with people who don't understand. Hey, listen, when you talk to me, you're gonna hear me say, "I'll be talking to you." Next thing you know, hey,
Right.
put that down. Get that out of your mouth. My bad. Okay, so what were you saying?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
see,
Yeah.
me, a
Yeah.
lot of times I can
All the
have like an
time.
adult conversation outside of the
That's
house. Like
all the
I
time.
talk to my friends when I'm driving home from work or driving to work. So main thing you might hear is just the traffic in the
Right.
background versus when I'm home. Oh, trust me. See, right now they're sleeping.
But my kids don't want anything until I'm on the
It's
phone. They're
something
like
about it.
screaming. They're coming to me crying. I'm just like, but 5 minutes ago,
5 minutes
no
ago, I
one was
didn't exist
even
to you.
talking. Like everyone was
So
doing
trust me,
their
I
own
get it. But I
thing.
can definitely say, me personally, I take my hats off to the stay-at-home moms, as well as I commend us working moms. But either way it goes, it's a challenge. There's nothing easy about it, but there is the biggest reward.
Right. Right. Right.
I am more
Well,
than
I thank you
happy. I
very
am
much for
honored.
doing this with me. It was fun, and I think
If
hopefully
we
we got our
didn't, they can
points
always
across.
reach out.
And right, I think we both. Yeah, I think we made our points that it's just we have different challenges, but it's all the same work. It's all the same work, and
I I
yeah,
liked
that's
it.
just, that's all I gotta
Hey, if you ever
say.
need me again, you
This
know where
was
to find
fun.
me. You are
Yeah.
more than welcome.
All right. Thank you.
You too. Bye.
All right.
Thank you for listening to today's podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope that you could understand both points of views. Until next time, stay blessed.